Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named. They resided in a beautiful large house with spacious gardens. Every day, Ella spent her time playing and learning with great joy. However, this happiness did not last long. Ella's father remarried a widow who had 2 daughters. The three of them appeared haughty and always looked at Ella with distaste. Shortly after the wedding, Ella's father fell ill and passed away. After her father's death, Ella's life changed drastically. Her cruel stepmother revealed her true nature. She and her 2 daughters treated Ella like a servant. They forced her to do all the heavy housework, sweeping, mopping, cooking, washing, and cleaning the fireplace. Because she was always dirty with fireplace ashes, they began calling her Cinderella or Ash Girl. Despite being treated poorly, Cinderella remained kind-hearted and patient. Every day she worked hard without complaining. Her only friends were the little birds and mice that lived around her house. She shared breadcrumbs with them and whispered stories to them when night fell. One day, an announcement came from the palace. The king was holding a grand ball for his handsome son. All the young ladies in the kingdom were invited because the prince was looking for a bride. This news spread quickly throughout the kingdom, including to Cinderella's house. Cinderella's stepsisters were very excited and busy preparing their best gowns. "Cinderella, prepare my pink dress," ordered the first stepsister. "Cinderella, polish my shoes until they shine," yelled the second stepsister. "Could I also go to the ball?" Cinderella asked carefully. Her stepmother and stepsisters laughed mockingly. "You? To the palace ball? With your shabby clothes and dirty hands? Don't dream," said her cruel stepmother. The night of the ball arrived. Her stepmother and 2 stepsisters departed for the palace in their magnificent gowns, leaving Cinderella alone at home. They rode in a beautiful horse-drawn carriage and laughed merrily, while Cinderella could only watch from a distance. Cinderella could not hold back her sadness and began to cry in the back garden. "Why can't I be happy like everyone else?" sobbed Cinderella. Suddenly, a bright light appeared before her. A beautiful woman with a magic wand emerged from the light. "Don't cry, Cinderella. I am your fairy godmother," said the woman in a gentle voice. With a single wave of her magic wand, the fairy godmother transformed a pumpkin in the garden into a beautiful carriage. Several mice changed into majestic white horses. A large mouse turned into a coachman, and some lizards became footmen in splendid uniforms. Then, the fairy godmother touched Cinderella's tattered dress with her wand. In an instant, Cinderella's clothes changed into the most beautiful ball gown, light blue with sparkling jewel decorations. On her feet, a pair of beautiful glass slippers appeared. "Now you can go to the ball, Cinderella," said the fairy godmother. "But remember, this magic will only last until midnight." Cinderella arrived at the palace in her luxurious golden carriage. The palace looked magnificent with thousands of candles illuminating every corner. Noble guests gathered in their finest attire, and music flowed melodiously from the ballroom. At the palace, the ball was in full swing. When Cinderella entered the ballroom, all eyes turned to her. No one recognized her, including her stepmother and stepsisters. The prince was enchanted by Cinderella's beauty and immediately asked her to dance. Throughout the night, the prince did not let Cinderella go. They danced and conversed happily. When the palace clock began to strike for the 3rd time, Cinderella remembered the fairy godmother's warning. "I'm sorry, I must go," said Cinderella hurriedly. She ran down the palace stairs. The prince tried to chase after her, but Cinderella was faster. In her haste, one of Cinderella's glass slippers fell off, but she didn't have time to go back for it. The prince found the slipper and picked it up carefully, hoping to find the mysterious girl again. The prince was determined to find the girl again by searching for whose foot would fit the glass slipper. The next day, the prince and his guards traveled throughout the kingdom, trying the glass slipper on every young woman. Finally, they arrived at Cinderella's house. Both stepsisters tried to force the glass slipper on with great effort, but their feet were too big. They pushed and pulled, but the shoe wouldn't fit. Their mother watched with anxiety and disappointment. As the palace guards were about to leave, Cinderella asked for permission to try. "Let her try," commanded the prince, who had sensed something special about this servant girl from the beginning. As soon as the glass slipper was placed on Cinderella's foot, It fit perfectly. To prove that she was indeed the girl they were looking for, Cinderella took out the matching glass slipper from her pocket. The prince was overjoyed to have found the girl of his dreams. The fairy godmother appeared again and transformed Cinderella's tattered clothes into a beautiful gown like the night before. The prince immediately proposed to Cinderella to become his wife. Cinderella accepted his proposal with joy. Shortly thereafter, Cinderella and the prince were married in a magnificent wedding ceremony. The entire kingdom rejoiced in celebrating their marriage. Even her stepmother and stepsisters were invited, because with her kind heart, Cinderella had forgiven them. They lived happily ever after in the palace, with Cinderella's kindness becoming an example for the entire kingdom. The story of Cinderella became a legend passed down through generations, as a reminder that kindness and patience are always rewarded accordingly.